Hey there, Emperors, and welcome back to Azir School, the series dedicated to teaching you the basics of Azir. In Week 8, we'll be talking about the new build for Season 6 and why things have changed. Let's take a look at the old builds and then we'll move on to how we're changing them up for the evolving metagame. Here are your basic items for Season 5. You have the Morelos build, the Nashor's build, and the two spell effect items that either fit individually into one of them or make up their own build, usually used further towards the end of Season 5 when melee fighters were most popular. Now let's take a look at the new builds we can run in Season 6. Firstly, let's examine the Nashor's build and why I see it as more of an option entering the new season. As you can see, this build provides a lot of early pressure, more than you normally have from Azir. Nashor's gives access to a lot of stats at once, making it ideal for the mid-game. Focusing more on this fact, we have Liandry's and Luden's to add to our mid-game power with the early magic pen and give us a little extra burst that we won't be getting from some of the heavier AP items. From here, it becomes situational. You can either take Rabadon's for more power, Rylai's for kite, or Zhonya's for survivability against assassins. Now let's take a look at this build's competitor, our Morelos version. It's almost identical, but there's the option to go directly into Luden's and start on those bigger AP items since you have the mana regen to use Luden's as a poke item. Let's take a second to talk about Morelos versus Nashor's. While both are good, Nashor's offers you the early barrage of offensive stats that Morelos does not. However, in this meta, champions such as Tryndamere, Yasuo, Mundo, and Nunu are commonplace, along with a slew of 80 carries taking the crit healing mastery. Because of this fact, Morelos' Grievous Wounds passive is nigh necessity. Due to this, I myself prefer Morelos over Nashor's Tooth. Also, given the fact that I prefer to use my dashes to help me get around the map, so the extra mana regen is a much welcome stat. Now that the inevitable Morelos vs Nashor's talk is over, let's discuss Luden's Echo. As you can see, it is included in both new builds for Season 6. This is because it gives an early burst of power that other AP items can give you. And due to the uprising of mid-game power and assassin level damage in the current meta, Luden's helps Azir keep up with all the new damage outputting sources that 80 assassins and 80 carries now have in the mid-game. Let's take another look at some of our individual items, starting with Rylai's. As you can see here, Rylai's is invaluable against melee fighters such as Darius. If kited properly, they won't even be able to touch you unless you are CC'd by another target on their team. Next is Liandry's. Against a team with high HP champions, Liandry's is very important. But this doesn't mean that it's only good against high HP teams. It's still very valuable against squishy comps as it gives you mid-game power with extra magic pen. As you see here in this example, I'm melting Darius with the passive of Liandry's. And finally, Luden's Echo. I'll put up two clips of the burst that Luden's will give you during a game. Mid champions usually have around 30 MR. This Darius has 56. And I'm doing half of his HP in damage with just a Luden's Echo. As you also see in this example, Luden's combined with Thunderlord's Decree can give you extremely high damage in a short amount of time. Try out your favorite of these builds in your own games and let me know how you do. Be sure to like the video if you learned something and subscribe to see next week's episode. Good luck, Emperors.